We are live, Jess. Hello.
Hi. Howdy, everyone.
Bear with us for a moment, everyone, while we share and click buttons to go live on all platforms.
Yep.
All right, we're good on Instagram. We're good on StreamYard, it seems. Sweet.
Almost there. Working on it. Sorry. Okay. How you doing?
So we are back this week with our Tuesday lives. We took a break last week as we were just taking a rest after our retreat weekend experience. So we are happy to be back live with everyone. And just as a reminder, if you're joining us and you want a card reading, just let us know. Pop that in the comments. And Jess, I like to always start by sharing what decks we both picked for today. So
Sorry, hang on. My cat just grabbed a container of glitter and ran.
Oh no!
I got it though. Got it and locked it. Oh my god. Okay.
Little Sid wanted some magic.
Sorry. Okay. Okay.
Do you have decks picked or selected for today?
Yes, I feel like I'm back with the Sacred Traveler Oracle by Denise Lynn for today. Yeah, because again, especially this past weekend, but certainly the past weekend while we were at the retreat, it was just like navigating a journey and not really being sure what's going on. Not in a bad way, but like navigation mode. So whenever that happens to me, I whip out this one because it's like Sacred Traveler, and I just feel like that's the best I can do sometimes is travel through whatever.
Oh yeah. Without a map or anything, and just go with the flow. I think that could be a fun story to share as we're waiting for people to hop on. Because the last time we did our live was the day we talked about how it felt like Mercury retrograde. And then we had the whole switcheroo. So, yeah. I think that could be fun. A fun story for everybody. And just like a lived example. I shared it on my podcast last week, but just a lived example of the energies that we were talking about and how just to have that trust. So that could be cool.
And just have to roll with it.
Yeah, exactly. So no clue.
No choice.
So because of the energies that we're in with all the Piscean energies, I picked Work Your Light and Ask Your Guides for today. So I'm probably going to do a card pull from each for anyone requesting a reading for today. But so what we were alluding to, the story is we rented this house. We shared that on previous lives, pictures and all the things that we promoted the entire event based on as far as the location and the accommodations go. And the day that we went up a day early to kind of get prepared and everything and get settled. And the morning of about an hour and a half before I was getting ready to leave to head to Vermont with my ride. And I was just kind of looking forward to like an hour to just chill and kind of get centered and grounded before, traveling for 5+ hours to get there. I get an email from the host saying that there was a septic issue at the house that we rented and they were moving us to a different location.
Bigger and better
now. Bigger and better. So, yep. So we'd had everything planned. We had everyone we had their preferences and what kind of rooming they wanted and everything. And we had everything laid out, kind of all that kind of planned. We were like, 90% on everything until we actually got there. And that all kind of, the rug got pulled out from under us and we had to quickly adapt and go into the location pretty much blind. Because there wasn't really much time to look at pictures or anything.
And then notify everyone.
Yeah, I had to deal with that in the morning before I left. Like, hey, by the way, we're not staying where you thought we were. And thankfully, everyone was really cool about it. And thankfully, it was still a beautiful property. However, had we had any more people joining us, we would not have been able to fit them in the new house. So there's where that trust came in, as far as the number of, people that we had coming and the group that we'd had, and everything just sort of worked out for the best anyway. We had someone kind of drop out at the last minute, so that made it possible for almost everyone to have their own bed. So we had our own experience with that whole thing.
It was so interesting because there was absolutely no way to predict any of the things that, I mean, I remember I got that text or email or whatever from you, and I was like, wow. Wowie. And that morning, like before that, Sid had jumped into the bed like at 5 a.m. just completely covered in poop. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, and I had to go to work and then drive to Vermont after that. And so I was like, wow, we're starting early today, aren't we? And I was just, what do? You clean up the cat and you get ready for work, And then I got the email or the text about the septic. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. We sensing a theme here. Oh my God. Yeah, it was just like it was fine. But yeah. There's no way to even have predicted the things. Yeah. And so we were very grateful to enroll, but we wouldn't have had room for them. And the universe on that or something,
Something. Yeah. Or and we were very grateful that they discovered the issue before we got there rather than it happening while we were there, because that would have been awful.
Also, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that's our story. We just thought that was important to share, considering the discussions we were having during our last live about good old Mercury playing tricks. Even though it wasn't a retrograde, that's still to come in early April. So, yeah.
That's on its way, though.
Lived experience for sure. So, Jess, we have Amanda joining us, and she would like a reading. She said, welcome back. It's Tuesday. She's been MIA. We've missed you, Amanda. I know you popped on at the very end a couple lives ago. So, yes, we'd be happy and honored to read for you. Jess, would you like to go, or would you like me to for Amanda?
I'll draw one. I got, I love this one. I got, faraway places. So, faraway places. Stop playing it safe. Get ready for new horizons and change in your life. A journey is coming. It might be to foreign lands or faraway places, or maybe an inner shift that changes your destiny. It's all beneficial. Sometimes we can feel wobbled when we're not in our normal surroundings. However, you are safe and protected. Good fortune ensues. The sacred traveler wants you to know part of the glory of travel is stepping out of old habits, routines, and the repetitiveness of everyday life. It can feel daunting, yet in no small way your life is a spiritual voyage. Change is coming. Things are not as they seem. There are no wrong turns. Every adventure and misadventure is part of the course. You're on a pilgrimage of the soul. Keep your metaphorical bag packed. Some unexpected experiences are ahead. Be ready for anything. The joy of travel is that you can begin to experience the everyday as if you're seeing it for the first time. Nothing should be taken for granted. That's interesting. I feel like that could be a collective thing as well, like because change is here, and it's like I don't necessarily know how or what or when, who, all those W words, but I feel it happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, and slowly details shift. And it's sometimes it's scary, like kind of like we were talking about, like what are we gonna do? Or it seems like this card is saying just enjoy the scenery as those things are changing. This is someone on a boat traveling amongst other travelers. It looks like maybe to unknown places, but also I see with the traveler all, like all the resources they might need, like a sail, food, um, stuff like that. Like you're provided for um, amongst the changes. Sounds like an adventure. It's funny because I feel like this is a bit of an adventure card. If you want to look at change in that way, which I think is what it's calling you to do. And whether it be physical travel or just internal travel or navigating what's in front of you, like I was talking about when we first hopped on, knowing that you can look at it like an adventure and with excitement, or you can choose to resist and hang on to the things that seem to be falling away. There's always a couple of different ways to look at a situation. And I think this is calling for us to look at it through like the eyes of adventure and new experiences instead of losing something or being unsure. That's what I feel like with that.
Love that. And we're very much in that energy too, just cosmically with just kind of being in uncharted territory.
It didn't feel like rough waters though, like that looked like really serene, whatever it was, body of water. So like it just seems like it doesn't have to be like you're in the rapids, we can make it feel that way. I can do that super easily. But with effort it could be more of a calm ride if you look at it through an observer role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that
and
good
that's
advice?
kind of yeah, and that's kind of what we're moving into anyway, because with the new moon we just had on Sunday, the eclipse season gateway is now open, and that is definitely the advice for eclipse seasons in general, is to just sort of observe. And as Amanda is saying, life is an adventure. There's comfort in knowing we're safe while we ride it through. So yeah, that's it very much in alignment with, I'm sure, with Amanda, but also in general with the just current, astro weather that we have going on. So perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having that knowing inside, like you can feel calm even
Yeah.
if you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Easier said than done.
So we have Sandy joining us again today. Hi, Sandy. Thanks for hopping on and asking for a reading. And yes, this job. So let's do 2 cards for you. Let's do one from Work Your Light, and then we'll do the second from Ask Your Guides. Oh, Amanda said she's finally starting to feel the calm. Thank you.
Oh, good.
All right, Sandy, I'm pulling for you. Okay. Love that. Hey, Sandy. So on the job topic for you for today from Work Your Light, the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So there's that one. And then from my Ask Your Guides deck, I pulled Devotion, Nature, Spirits. And that one is card number 44, which is an angel number. So I think we have 2 very important intertwined messages for you here. And I remember several cards that we pulled for you on a few lives now about this job situation, that it hasn't felt in alignment for you. You're not happy there. It's temporary and you want to get out of it. So I think that right now in this decision-making time, as it seems based on your comment that you want to quit beginning in May, that just remember and think about and reflect on all the things that have maybe taught you a lesson about the whole experience, especially most importantly about yourself. And as Jess and I were talking as we started before we hit live, we were actually talking about messages from birds, which was pretty cool. So our furry friends are returning to our local environments now, and we have spring upon us and much new life, and we can kind of think about that energy in terms of our own lives. So just take some time if you can to just sit outside, especially while the weather is getting a little bit warmer and the sun's getting stronger, and just pay attention to what's around you and what birds or critters are kind of coming along on your path. Especially maybe robins is the one that appeared to us before we hit go live this morning.
I love the word.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that it's a good time for reflection. I think that timing is actually really good in the beginning of May. The eclipse season will be over, and definitely pay attention to what's coming in the next month and a half in particular. And the time to make the decision and the kind of cloudy feeling might definitely come to pass by then. So pay attention to your animal guides and just remember to carry forward the lessons from the whole experience.
I'm feeling drawn to say, like, the eclipse will let you know.
Yes, there will be two.
Because, yeah. So,
Yeah.
and it's so soon. Like, the eclipse will kind of show you, like, the for real of it, if you've got questions. I mean, for me anyway, whenever I know eclipse season is coming, I'm like, get ready for some truths.
Yes, that's exactly how they work.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like, especially if you've been ignoring some things, you won't be able to anymore. And so gradually I've learned just not to ignore things, because when they come back, it's like,
yeah.
It's best to deal with things as they come. You'll find clarity. I feel like after the eclipse is important though.
And especially to how eclipses work is in cycles. So specifically 9 and 18 years. So think back to any themes that were happening and developing in your life 9 years ago, but more specifically to these eclipses that are coming 18 and a half roughly years ago. And if any of those themes are repeating now in the situation with the job, definitely pay attention to what those things are saying to you as well.
And that the cycle thing, that goes for everyone. So if anyone can think back 9 to 18 years, it's pretty amazing, the things.
It sure is.
It sure is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so and Jess, I think that might be a good time, since no one has requested another reading just yet, to go over our soul broadcast and offerings for March.
Sure.
So if anyone out there listening is a member of our Soul Garden, you know that you get early access to our monthly soul broadcasts, which are our collective blog posts that we do once a month on a specific topic. And the topic that we choose is usually very much in alignment with the energies. And what we wrote about in February was a dark night of the soul, loving yourself through a dark night of the soul. And that post has been public now since the middle of February to everybody, not just Soul Garden. And we were kind of very busy with our retreat planning and decided not to do a soul broadcast for March. So that is still our topic carrying forward into this month, as we all feel that the energies are still very relevant, and the content of that soul broadcast is still very relevant. But what we're going to do in March, totally. Oh, totally.
Well, I feel a little emergence, actually, especially with this super sunny, warm day. Like, I'm probably going to go for a walk to the lake after. But, like, so there's a glimmer of emergence. But, man, it's like, how many dark nights of the soul can you go through? And it's like, well, actually, a million, right?
A lot.
whatever degree it is.
Yeah. And what we're doing for our March offerings is we're just offering special coupons to everybody. So on readings and products, 20% across the board. And we'll be posting those publicly on Friday. So stay tuned to your inboxes and on our socials for the codes for that. And that's discounts on readings with me and Jess, Mandy and Lexi, but also all of our aromatherapy products and our stores. So our classes as well. They apply to our classes as well, our downloadable class library. So in case you missed anything that we offered in the past that you want to catch on, now will be a good time to maybe dive into that material, especially while we're navigating the waters and trying to find the calm. And yeah, so we'll make those public on Friday this week. So stay tuned on that. And just remember, if you're a Soul Garden member, you get early access. I'm going to hop over on Instagram real quick and see if anyone's commenting or asking. Nope, not over there. So, Jess, do you want to maybe just do a collective reading for today?
Yeah, I do. You know what's weird? I need to stop saying, you know what's weird, or randomly.
Not random.
I always say that. Just remove that word from my vocabulary.
You do. You certainly do.
But I never do. Anyway, I was missing my friend Sherilyn earlier. And she made this beautiful oracle deck out of her paintings, which are actually, some of them are huge, like floor to ceiling type stuff, called Mystic Art Medicine. She left us a couple of years ago, but I was feeling, and then I was like, well, it's like I was feeling emotional, and so like I didn't really want to do all the readings with these. But then I was like, at the end, I'm gonna maybe do a couple just for the general whatnots, because it's like her actual paintings, so it's harder for me to interpret just by looking at the picture, and so I would need to read it. So I didn't want to do all of the. Anyway, whatever. So, interestingly enough, the the card that I just like was on the top is Perseverance. So I'm just gonna go with that as a direct message from Cher, because that's how she rolls. There's no question when she's in the house, I'll tell you. So she's in the house. Perseverance. I feel like that is pretty. Yeah, saying like, isn't that part of navigating life, is persevering through whatever, you know. So she wrote a poem for every card / painting, and it's called, this one is Still I Rise. 'Twas the hardest thing to do, be myself under that rule, burning rage, red hot fire. I am not a slave, nor I aspire. Bury the cross and my loved ones lost. I persevere through white man's fear. So the painting is called Still I Rise, and you can see an African male slave taken from his mother and all of the things he would experience then, saying life can be hard with many painful lessons. Sometimes it feels as though it will never end. For a time there is nothing more you can do than to breathe and know this too shall pass. In the dark tunnel of suffering, acknowledge others who have carried on through unimaginable torment. Brave ones rise from the ashes like the phoenix to find that the gift of perseverance is freedom. Physical, emotional, or spiritual, it is freedom you come to know through perseverance. Know that with every thought, word, feeling, and action, you are either adding to your suffering or nurturing with a healing touch. Carry on in the monitoring of your thoughts and focus your attention moment by moment. Change is coming. Ugh. Share. Okay. Your prayers, intentions, surrender, and trust in the divine will of Creator does matter. Take steps to transform what needs adjustment. Clear your plate of that which does not serve you. Receive help, forgive, and embrace all of you. The medicine of this card is asking you to know that suffering will pass and never give up. Think of an oak tree growing out of a rock with little or no soil. So determined to live. This is perseverance. This is the power of life. This is God, the sun and the love light giving life. This is you shining through despite circumstances. Okay. Oh, I needed to hear that. But I feel like that's kind of, that's right along with the thing about with every thought, word, feeling, and action, you are either adding to your suffering or nurturing with a healing touch. I feel like that ties in with that first card I drew about like you can be like, you can take it as it is and be the observer and have calmer waters, or you can resist everything that's going on and end up in like a river full of rapids, right? Kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, still I rise. Okay.
That card is so in alignment.
And all that
I mean,
red.
look at all the red. Yep, Aries
Oh,
and
I am
Mars.
surrounded by Aries. Two of my closest friends, my partner, my dad, my brother. It's like, oh God. Yep. It's here. It's here. I feel like Aries is here, even though it's not quite here yet. They're like pounding on the door.
Yes.
Is it Aries season yet? It's like, no, it's not yet.
Sophia says, hey.
Hey,
Amanda
hi.
says, Aries here too. Sophia says, my son is an Aries.
I love Aries. I'm saying, like, this is, they're here. It's here. It's like, it's that, like, unignorable part of everything, you know?
Yeah, it's our survival instinct and instinct in general, and just the spark of life. Like, think about what happens this time of the year. We have the equinox coming here on the East Coast. So when the sun moves into Aries, actually just before the 20th this time around. So it'll be on the 19th. So next week.
Oh, so yeah, they're
Yeah.
right outside the door.
Lots of fire. Yeah. It's the divine spark. It's cardinal fire. It's our light. It's where the sun shines the strongest besides the sign of Leo. So it's just, we're in that time of the year here in the Northern Hemisphere. So it makes sense. And then we have the eclipse kind of adding energy to it on the 8th, coming in on April 8th, the total solar. And we also just had Chiron and the North Node come together in the sign of Aries on the 5th last week, which only happens every 12 to 14 years-ish. So that's very much about our own individual healing journeys, collectively and personally, depending on where it happens in our own charts.
2010, let's think back to ish, right? For that one. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That was an active time.
Yes.
Let's just generalize it like that.
Yeah, definitely.
They are all counting.
Oh yeah, Sophia, you're so lucky.
Where would we be without Aries? I know.
Seriously. Yeah, so we're all going to be called to tap into those parts of ourselves. And
I find this interesting too, because we're still in Pisces, but it's obviously Aries are like knocking on the door. So I'm feeling like this is Aries mixing with the Pisces. Like, we're in this little area where it's here. You know what I mean?
The water and the fire.
Visually, this is this is March 12th or whatever we are.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's the end and the beginning of the zodiac too. Pisces is the end and Aries is the beginning. So the equinox is technically astrological new year. So we just had our last new moon of the last astrological year on Sunday with the Pisces new moon. So it's very interesting. There's going to be a lot of action on that Aries Pisces cusp in the next few coming years too. So like, really, really very, very curious part of the zodiac too.
Here it looks to me like a sun. These people watching the sun.
Yeah. And just the fact that it's like a seed. He's like a seed that's being reborn. Yeah. It's so cool. What a beautiful image.
Like the solar eclipse, maybe. I don't know. This is like pretty interesting. I could stare at these paintings forever. But
yeah. There's so much in there.
Yeah. There's like,
I'd love to have a wall size version.
Yeah. To stand in front of some of them is just like, oh.
Yeah.
Some of them are painted on the red rocks in Sedona.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like that kind of.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Cher, thank you for that message. Lovely. Mystic Art Medicine, if anyone is interested in.
Is it still available for sale?
Huh?
Is it still available for sale?
I think that there are still a couple places that sell it. I think that maybe her family has her website still, and there's a place in Sedona called the Chocolate Tree. I know that sells her artwork still and has these. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, I'm not positive.
Very cool. Well, Jess, I pulled 2 collective cards also in closing for today. And the one that came out of Work Your Light is the Mirror card. Who or what is triggering you?
Oh my goodness, everything. Sorry.
So we have that message in the undercurrents for sure. And then Master Teacher Discipline from Ask Your Guides, card number 33. So we have 2 angel cards coming from that deck for today. And that is such a cool message that comes on the heels of the Perseverance card.
The discipline.
Because the discipline, yeah.
I feel
and
that.
Just becoming our own master teacher is very much in the energy that we're in too. So just pay attention to what's triggering you, especially if it's you yourself, because that can be something that happens as well. And, what are you going to do about it? How do you teach yourself how to heal whatever is coming up, but also address it and clear it and transmute it? And whether it's another teacher that is part of that journey for you, or just you, and learning how to do it by embodying and continuing on with the practices that maybe you've put in place for yourself through other experiences that are similar. So we usually draw people into our lives that hold up a mirror for us to teach us mostly about ourselves. So pretty cool.
And I am feeling called to just say that I recently experienced a massive trigger that came from success. So just know that it's not just negative or tougher experiences that can be a trigger. And honestly, that's something that never even crossed my mind. All the years I've been doing this stuff, all the triggers I've dealt with, I seriously never even crossed my mind that achieving a goal can be triggering. So that was something that took me months to work out. And so not every trigger is going to be worked out immediately. Not every trigger is going to be like, there's no blueprint really for, or set. It's about, I don't know. It's about like, learn how to use your paddle in whatever river. I just wanted to mention that though, because it was so unexpected to me that it took me a long time to figure out that it was even what was happening to me. And so like not even recognizing it as a trigger made it last longer. So I thought maybe by bringing to people's attention, if they didn't ever experience a trigger from something positive, I might save them some time of being like, why am I reacting like this to something that I've worked so hard to achieve?
Yeah.
So that's all I had to say about that.
Legit point. Thank you.
Because I could have saved like 3 months, probably 2 months at least.
Yeah.
And it was like an epiphany, and I was like, oh my goodness.
So you want to pull a card for Sophia in closing, since she asked? Speaking of animal guides.
Did we just both say clairvoyance?
I was saying animal guides, but I think she's talking about her clairvoyance, yeah.
I was able to clearly see my recently deceased dog. And oh, precious. I'll draw a card, but I honestly don't feel like there's anything you're missing. Your gifts are opening, and maybe Precious is helping you work through some things that Precious is her dragon, and so I think that the fact that your dog came through clairvoyantly is not unrelated, given just I'm not gonna talk about your business or whatever, but anyway,
she's sharing. Precious right next to me.
Well, I'm just saying that because I spent so much time in that energy, like I can just tell you that it's definitely related, and your dear pup is one of your guides now, and your gifts are opening. So as you shed the layers of resistance to who you actually are, and don't like compromise yourself for the sake of others' comfortableness, you're just it's gonna happen more and more and more and more and more and more. So, oh well. Okay, so I pulled from the animal deck because you said about the pup. I got dragonfly, which represents illusion, and it says, "You know who you really are." And I just said that before I even looked at the card. So this is who you really are. This is how things are. No, I know that you meant the dragon. I know. But you seeing those things, like that's who you really are. These are your natural it's your natural state to have access to that kind of stuff visually. Probably clairaudience as well will come online, I feel like, for you. And then also the clairsentience of just knowing which decision to make and maybe not having any supporting details, but just still knowing it. And then I also pulled cougar, which is confidence. And so you know who you really are, and being confident in that knowing. Be bold and take charge. You do know who you really are, and the just get ready for more. Yeah. No, it's not your bad. It's your gifts coming online. You're gonna start to. You can. It's not your bad. All it is like choosing to be like, I don't really feel like having access to this right now, and it'll stop. You're not eavesdropping. Don't worry. It's just that you're gaining more access to the way things would be for you if life didn't condition you otherwise, let's say. So it's kind of more of the shedding happening. And so it's definitely not your bad. You're not dropping in on as a conversation. It's just all going on at once, all the time, everywhere. And so as these gifts come online for you more and more, it's going to be important for you to just request days off. Sometimes, like I went to an art show a couple weeks ago, and as I was driving there, I'm like, look, I don't have the energy for all you all that are going to be waiting for me there. I just want to have a nice day with my girlfriends and enjoy the art and a glass of wine. You know what I mean? And so when I got there, there was literally a periphery of spirit, like standing in a periphery around the property. Like they heard me. They were like, we're still here, but we're respecting you. So the thing is, you're just going to have to learn how to navigate your new landscape, so to speak. So I feel like that's what's happening, and not to be afraid, but also be bold and take charge would be also taking control of when you don't want to have access. You can be like, I need a few hours to myself, or you can say not today, or you could, it's pointless to say not ever, because I tried and it doesn't work. So it's best to just work within the reality of what's going on. So I hope that helps. And you can text me anytime if anything goes weird. It is exciting. It is exciting. But it's important for you to understand you have control over it. So don't be afraid. Okay. Yes. And you're not eavesdropping it either. It's just that it's just everything is going on all the time on both sides. And so as your hearing opens up, it's just like a radio antenna, kind of like you're switching stations type of thing. It's how it was explained to me, that resonated with how my brain would understand that. Yeah, you can turn the radio off, just don't unplug it.
Thank you for asking and sharing that, Sophia.
I love you.
Yeah, much love. All right, I have an appointment, so we have to hop off sooner than our usual 12:30 today. And we just want to, Sophia said, thank you, Jess.
Oh, you're welcome.
So much love.
Yeah.
Just want to remind everybody, if you got a reading today and you enjoyed it, or if you're listening to the replay and enjoyed the collective readings or the ones we did for anyone that asked, we have our virtual tip jar, which is in the description for this episode, but also at the bottom of our homepage, cgoddesshealingarts.com. And we are back on weekly at the moment. So we will see you all next week on Tuesday at 11:30 Eastern for Tuesday live readings. You're welcome, Amanda. Thank you all for hopped on live and asked for readings today. And we will see you next time. Jess, you want to say anything in closing?
Yeah, just keep on keeping on, you know. Listen to your inner knowing when you're making choices, and things will fall into place for you. I'll tell everyone to do the thing that I'm trying really hard to do.
Awesome. Beautiful. Love it. We're all on the path together.
For sure.
All right, everyone. Until next week. See you later. Bye.